Hey all, Grolo here. In case you hadn't heard, Pax Day is having a free week. That's right. If you go to the Steam page for Pax Day right now, which I'm looking at here, you'll see that you have the option of just playing the game. You play for free until January 26th at 10 a.m. This kicked off today at 10 a.m. Eastern, I believe. So, yeah, you get a full week where you can try this game out. It's already marked down substantially, like $18 to actually buy it. But you can play for free this week. If you want to try out. I am not sponsored by Mainframe. I have no sponsorships from anybody, so I'm not trying to sell you this game. I'm here to talk about, is it worth it? Is it worth jumping in for the free weekend, checking it out? I'm sure you've heard a lot of naysaying and dooming and the game's dying and all that stuff. I'm sure there's a little bit of truth to some of it, not all of it. As with anything, it's going to be a mixed bag of sensationalism and exaggeration and a little bit of honesty, right? So let's talk about it. The Steam charts don't look great. This is the 3-month view, and you can see since it's launched and peaked at almost 7,000 concurrent players, it is down now in the last 24 hours to about 2,700 players, less than half what it was. Now, anybody who played this game in early access knew this was going to happen. Anybody who's played an MMO launch in the past 5 years knew this was going to happen. Look at every game that's come out. Look at New World. Look at Lost Ark. Look at anything. They all dive like this, right? Now, some of it is because the games just aren't complete. They're not polished. There are a lot of things wrong with them. Pax Day is no different in that regard. Pax Day is far from complete. I wouldn't say it's still a beta game like some people will tell you. I mean, it's finished. It's fairly polished. It's better than the other early access games I'm playing, right? Stability wise and bug wise and so on and so forth. There's really not a whole lot wrong with the game bug wise. We haven't seen massive economy shattering duplication bugs or anything of that nature. So from that point, Pax Day is doing fairly well. But what people mostly complain about is the lack of things to do, right? They'll complain about the lack of quests, the lack of NPCs, the lack of an economy. Some of these things are true. Some of them they're like, and I've talked about this in past videos too, right? But the fact that Pax Day lacks quests and lacks NPCs, I view as a positive. These are not things that are missing from the game. This is a sandbox player-first game, and so missing those things is fine. It makes sense. It doesn't mean there's less to do in the game. I mean, I've been playing the game since day one. There's still plenty for me to do. I'm out there multiple times a week fighting in the PvP zone. Not having things to do is not really one of the game's primary problems. If you want a PvP, it's pretty easy to find action out in Lioness, which is the PvP zone. If you want to do PvE content, you want to run dungeons, you want to do points of interest, you want to farm gold or sigils for crafting or anything, there's a lot of things to do. Now, crafting, a lot of people have been burning out on crafting and gathering, and I have said this on my live streams. By the way, I'm really sorry for missing last week's. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. But resource gathering in this game is miserable. That is, I feel, the number one problem this game faces is keeping people interested in actually going out and gathering resources from the world, because those resources are required for the crafting machine of this game. Crafting in this game is grindier than any crafting experience you have ever encountered in any game. It is miserable. So when you combine that with the miserable nature of resource gathering, the two compound each other. Mainframe really needs to do better at getting groups into resource gathering, and I've talked about that at length before. I think what they need to do is bring players together in such a way that if you're working as a team, the resource extraction is more efficient, you get more out of it, and so on and so forth. Anyway, I don't want to go down that tangent again because we're here to talk about if this is worth it. Bottom line, it's free, right? Check it out for the weekend. See what you think. Don't go off other people's opinions. I'm going to give you mine, but ultimately it's up to you, and all you have to do is click that button in Steam and jump in and check it out. No harm, no foul, right? There's no money out of your pocket. What we're going to do to help is we are spinning up a guild centered around new players coming in, just to kind of show them what the game can be like. We got a lot of starter gear we're going to help people out with. We're going to get people out there and getting into the action as fast as possible. So if you're one of those players and you just want to hop in and immediately see what the game has to offer without going through all of the pain points in the beginning, just head over to unhinged.gg and jump into the Discord, and we'd be happy to help you out. There's a lot of other clans on the server, whichever one you choose, by the way. We are on the server Selene. There's an RP server out there called Sif. Of course, there's EU servers. I don't even know the names of them. Whichever one you choose, what you really need to do is link up with the clan and get into some of the group content, be it dungeons or PvP or whatever. That's how you're going to actually find enjoyment in this game. Unless you are the kind of person who just loves the grindiest grind possible, then the crafting and gathering will be for you. This game delivers that in spades. The other thing that people complain about in this game a lot is the combat. This game is not like World of Warcraft, it's not like Ashes of Creation or New World. Those games all offered kind of high-octane combat where people were flying around. It was more of like a gap closing and kiting combat style in those games, where you're always trying to close the gap with your enemy or create distance with your enemy while continuing to do damage. A lot of ranged and AoE. This game has none of that. There's no such thing as kiting. There's no such thing as AoE or even ranged combat. There's bow and arrows in the games, but they're pathetic. They're worthless. So what combat ends up being is like in the trenches, shoulder to shoulder, just freaking delivering blows to each other until one side goes down. There's a lot of abilities on your armor that can kind of tune and tweak the strategy, but in the end, they have gone for and delivered a very visceral slugfest style combat. It does not appeal to everybody. I don't think it has to. Just like the twitchy action dodge roll spam type of combat is not going to appeal to everybody, but it's going to appeal to some people, right? Now, is the combat like A or S tier in this game? No. I think they got some room for improvement on combat for sure. I'd say it's a solid B. I think the things they need to add are things like parrying, juking, not a dodge roll, just a short little juke. The fact is this game is about emergent, organized group PvP. It's about players engaging with one another, competing against one another in ways that the devs can't predict. And that is starting to happen. You're seeing the first signs of that out in Lioness. I can't speak for all servers, but on the Selene server, we have multiple large alliances now formed. There's like three large alliances in the zone, and then there's a lot of smaller guilds in the zone. And on any given night, you can find some action out there pretty easily. On top of that, like I said, there's a ton of PvE content. I know our guild is running dungeons 3+ times a week, and my understanding, I don't do those, but my understanding is they're quite challenging with the revamps and everything, so you can really cut your teeth on those. I think they need to add mounts to this game. That's another thing that people are rightfully complaining about. There's a lot of travel time in this game, and doing it on foot just doesn't feel good. I think bringing mounts and mounted combat into the game would really fit well with the way they are trying to move combat in this game. And so, anyway, is it worth it? Yeah. Pick it up for free. Try it out for a week. If you like it, stick with it. If you don't, drop it, right? Something different to do. And when it comes to the population, like I said in the beginning, anybody who played early access knew the graph was going to look this way. I called this out. We had a big pre-launch clan meeting, and I told everybody, like, this game is going to drop pretty steadily for a while. Eventually, it's going to find a base, and then it's going to start this slow and steady incline. And that's playing out. I don't know where the bottom's going to be. And a lot of this is going to depend on Mainframe and their ability to deliver new features, new content, refine the systems that we have. So this is all on Mainframe, right? But if they can start to pique players' interest and deliver things to players wanting, we're going to start to see that graph turn around. Keep in mind, like, if you look at history, like, a lot of successful games had this trend in the beginning. I went back and I looked at EVE Online's numbers, for example. I keep comparing this to EVE Online because it's another sandbox game and some of the developers at Mainframe came from that company. But if you look at EVE Online's start, they started like above 5,000, slowly dipped in the beginning to around 5,000. It took them 2 years to go from 5,000 players concurrent on average to 10,000, based on the research that I'd done. That's a 5,000 player concurrent player gain in a 2-year span. Today, when it takes a game that long to start accumulating players just write the game off as dead. I don't think that's what it's going to be. I'm hoping that Mainframe has the wherewithal and the willpower and the staying power to pull through this and to begin to deliver and to start to win more support from the community, the existing players, from new players. We'll see. Time's going to tell, right? I can sit here and talk all I want, but if Mainframe doesn't execute, then the trend line will continue down indefinitely until, well, you all know what's going to happen then. But I'm still here. I'm still investing in this game because I want to give Mainframe a shot. I want to give them a good shot because, let's face it, we need better MMOs. We need more modern MMOs. We need new stuff. That's why I'm tracking all 3 of these things: Star Citizen, Ashes of Creation, and Pax Dei, and I have been for years now. Anybody who's been around this channel a while knows those are the 3 games I have been talking about forever. These are the 3 games where the hope for a good future MMO lies. There's really no other options for us at this point, in the near future at least. So I'm very hopeful. We're going to keep plugging away. If you want to give it a shot for free weekend, I think you should do so. And again, like I said, if you're looking for some help in getting started on the Selene server, hit up unhinged.gg. Be glad to give you a hand. And I hope to see you in there. I'm getting ready to go into Lioness right now and do some more PvP. And we'll see how it goes. Stay tuned for another video this week. I'll be back to live streaming this coming Saturday. Sorry I missed the last one. I ended up working all weekend on the new computer setup. For those who know, I got a second PC to help with streaming and all that stuff, and to kind of separate gaming from all the work stuff I do. They were really starting to conflict a little bit. So I now have 2 systems, but oh my gosh, it took me all weekend to get this new configuration mostly working. I'm almost there. I got a little bit of audio stuff to work out here, but that is the reason I missed the stream. My equipment was just not in condition to actually do it. So I'll be back at it next weekend. I really missed you guys, so hope to see you then. Until then, hopefully I'll catch you in the comments. Let me know what you think of this Pax Dei free weekend, and what do you think of the game? Do you think it's hopeless? Do you think all hope is lost, or do you think there's still a glimmer of hope on the horizon? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are in the comments below. Until then, take care, and Grolo out.